Hello and welcome to the Voice of TOD. I'm Tom, and today we're going to talk about something I love, although that could be the Stockholm Syndrome kicking in. Xbox. With no E3 this year, the Xbox Games Showcase is scheduled for June the 11th. About a week away from recording at this point, so I thought we'd take a look at what we've seen over the past years. Yes, years. And hopefully we'll see this time around. So the idea of this video is to look at what's been shown off in previous events, be it the showcases of, well, going back quite a few years to be fair, but also shown off at the Jeff Keighley Game Awards. There's a few of those in here as well, just to give you an idea of where I'm pulling these from. And all these games, as far as I know, are still in development and will release at some point in the future. That's as good as we've got. So, my hopes and predictions video will come out a little closer to the showcase itself. So, probably middle of next week. But I wanted to get this one done just to really give a little bit of context to, well, how things have just not been releasing, basically. And it's worrying me. I will also be doing my sort of live reaction of the showcase on the 11th of June, so keep an eye out for that if you want to join me. Always welcome. It will be on this channel, and I will throw up a scheduled stream a couple of days before, shall we say, once we get everything figured out. But enough with the self-promotion. Let's jump in. First up, we kind of have to just go over how Xbox has fared in 2023. It's been a rough 6 months for the Xbox brand, I'm not gonna lie. Seems to be getting worse. I'll be honest. Not only were there huge layoffs across many of their studios in January, and 343 Industries took a pretty big hit on its own, but the first-party releases haven't really delivered in the last 6 months either. January saw Hi-Fi Rush stealth drop to critical acclaim and a lot of love from the fanbase. But since April's offering Minecraft Legends, it's received mixed reviews at best, and then May gave us Redfall, the game that redefined the FPS acronym to mean fucking piece of shit. Over the past few months, I've put up a couple of videos on the channel on how I feel about the state of the Halo franchise, which is a really big part of my life, under the stewardship of 343 Industries, and my continuing disappointment with how Xbox has failed to capitalise on a lot of the already established IP that they own. Links will be pinned in a comment below if you want to check those out as well, but the TLDR is I'm not impressed with Xbox at the moment, and really the Series generation is delivering less than the Xbox One generation did. And I know we're early in, but it doesn't look good. And I don't think I'm alone in this. After many years of promising that the games will be coming next year, some fans have finally cracked and started calling for Phil Spencer to be fired as head of Xbox. Now, I'm not that drastic. I think Phil, on the whole, has done an excellent job. I just think there's elements in the company that have taken their eye off the ball, especially with what's currently in development. And let's be clear, as far as we know, first-party-wise, at this point, we only have Starfield that's been dated for September release. We don't know much more about it. And Forza Motorsport, all but guaranteed to be coming this year, not dated. There's really only one question: where have all the games gone? I put together a list of 37 games that have been announced over the last few years to be coming to Xbox in some form. On this list there are 18 first-party games that are still, as far as I can see, in active development. And with Xbox teasing new surprises at this showcase, that list is only going to grow. I'm fairly sure this list isn't exclusive, but I think almost any of these games could show up in the showcase. Now, we're going to go over each game. I'll play some footage from one of the many trailers from any of these sort of titles, really, in the background, just so you've got an idea of what we're talking about. And I'm going to touch on my thoughts for each game. It's going to be very rough, but sort of hopeful idea of when this might actually release, and if we'll see them in this 2023 showcase. Because that's the big question. What are Xbox bringing? So let's get into it. There's a lot of games to cover, so we'll just start with Hellblade 2. This was originally announced in the 2019 Game Awards. We've had a few trailers since. Honestly, I'm really looking forward to this one. I've enjoyed what I've played of Hellblade until the game broke, and I have to replay the whole thing again. My playthrough is over on the TOD Plays Games channel. Some of these I've done games in the series over on there, so if you want to check out the gaming channel, feel free. Again, links in stuff in descriptions, but it's not really why we're here, is it? Hellblade 2, I think, is a dead set for this one. I honestly don't know if it's releasing this year. I think there's a lot of buzz about it potentially coming later this year. I feel it's 2024 because we haven't seen much of it. I do expect this to be at the showcase, though. Perfect Dark Reboot. Revealed in 2020. This is the Initiative's first game. It sounds like it's stuck in development hell. Not the only one. I doubt we'll see this. We might get an update on the project, maybe some sort of, interview with the studio or something in one of the videos, but yeah, we won't see gameplay. I doubt we'll get a trailer. I'm even sort of 50-50 split on if it'll ever get mentioned. This isn't coming anytime soon. Avowed, Obsidian's first-person Pillars of Eternity game, announced with a CGI trailer in 2020, and then it's been fairly silent. A couple of months ago, maybe, was it November time, I think, did a video on a new story director joining. We know that this has been running fairly smoothly. Obsidian seem to be pretty good at getting their games out. They've released quite a few things over the last sort of 12 months officially, with Grounded coming out of beta and full release. And the excellent Pentiment now in the wild. I actually think that we'll see this. Well, in fact, I'm fairly certain we'll see this. Again, I do not think this game is coming out in 2023. It would be nice. We need something like this. I think this is 2024 as well, in all honesty. State of Decay 3. Poor. Undead Labs' next zombie game shown off in 2020 with another CGI trailer. Gone exceptionally quiet. The studio is still supporting State of Decay 2 with multiple content drops. I think this will be staying quiet for another year. Moving on to Everwild. Rare's newest IP, again gone quiet. There's been rumours of issues with development and a reboot possibly in 2021. Don't know how far they're into development on this one. Don't think we'll see anything. It's a real shame. This was looking really good. The Outer Worlds 2, another Obsidian game that's been fairly quiet. Probably only see this if Avowed is missing or gets a 2023 date. Outer Worlds seemed to have been a success. I didn't love it, but I think there's quite a lot of desire for a sequel. The trailer that they showed was very purposefully, tongue-in-cheekly done, generic sequel trailer. Very well done. Obsidian are a very witty studio. I think this is still too early. I think we're looking at Showcase 2024 to show this off, or maybe Game Awards end of this year to show this off. I very much doubt that we'll be seeing anything of this as a release until 2025, if I'm honest. Stranger things have happened, though. Stalker 2, the long-awaited sequel from Ukraine-based studio GSC Game World. Website says release of 2023, so I expect to see something. Obviously, with them being based in Ukraine, they have had a lot more to deal with over the last few years than 99% of other gaming studios. I think this is a game that, honestly, there's had a lot of delays, and I think as much as the fanbase wants it, the fanbase also understand, and they want a good game. I think we'll see something. I still don't know if it will hit that 2023 release. I just want it to come out and be good and deliver to the fanbase. That's all that I'm worried about. So if this is quiet, if we don't get anything, completely understand. Darktide for console. So Warhammer 40,000 is a thing. Big old franchise, lots of games. This isn't first party as such. but it was an Xbox console exclusive with the PC port, or the main version was developed on PC. So the PC game is currently on Game Pass. Launched, I think, November on Game Pass. I very much doubt this. It was not mentioned in the special Warhammer Skulls event that happened a couple of weeks ago. PC release is still a big mess, and Fat Shark are focusing on that one first and getting that sorted. Personally, I don't think this is ever coming. Fable. I love Fable. I love the idea of a reboot, and I love the idea that it's Playground Games who are doing it. They've been working on this since 2018. Now, there's been loads of rumours of issues with development. There's a running theme with first-party Xbox studios and issues in development. There was a big tease on the Xbox Twitter a couple of days ago. In fact, we'll work it in. We'll pop that up. I really hope that we get some gameplay. I really hope that this gets a release year. I don't think this is coming 2023. I have a very strong feeling that this is going to be a Q1, Q2 2024. Probably talk about this more on my predictions video because I have a lot to say about this one. But I definitely think we will see something here. Contraband. This is Avalanche Studios' 70s co-op heist game that's been silent since 2021. Avalanche Studios, the studio behind the Just Cause series, and didn't they do the Mad Max game that I'm yet to play, but everyone says is amazing? I think that... yeah. Again, 50-50 on hearing anything. I don't know much about Avalanche Studio themselves. I guess they are pretty competent in making these kind of... But then this is co-op. I don't think Just Cause was co-op. They tend to focus on single-player games. Not really heard anything. I expect that... I expect that this will be missing. If it's there, expect a pretty cool 70s style trailer with an epic soundtrack. Yeah. I'm really torn on this. They had Steely Dan in the CGI trailer as well. It was pretty cool. But I don't think we'll see anything. I mean, this is something that could be shown off at a Game Awards later in the year. I'm going to say no on this one. Moving on to stuff that's been announced a little bit more recently. Ara History Untold. So this is Oxide Games' turn-based strategy game. Seems to be aiming for a 2023 release and is an Xbox exclusive. I'm going to say 100% we will see something. I'd argue that this is going to launch this year as well because they've been saying 2023 for a long time. So yes, this is, I would say, nailed on. Don't put any money on it, but I think we'll see more of Ara. And to be honest, I'm quite interested in this. The CGI trailer was enough to pique my interest. Don't really play these kind of games, but I'd certainly give this a go. It had some element of charm about it, which was nice. Ark 2 again seems to be quite involved in the Xbox ecosystem. It was delayed in April. Definitely not seeing this. Flintlock Siege of Dawn. So this is an A44 Games release, aiming for 2023 after quite a few delays. No firm date set. This is third party. I expect that we will see something, if it is being released this year, just to pad the show out. You know they like to do the first party, then they have the usual third party stuff thrown in there as well, just to keep the interest a bit wider than Xbox focused. I expect to see this. It looked interesting. I wasn't that sold on it, I don't think. We'll have to see. Hopefully this comes out and is good, because it's quite a cool idea. And even at third-party games, we need something to come out on here that's a bit different and a bit more interesting than the usual. So yes, looking forward to this. Think we'll see it. Lightyear Frontier. Now this was an Xbox console exclusive. This is coming from Framebreak. It's a sci-fi farming sim. Kind of Stardew Valley-esque was the vibe I got from it, but less pixely, more sort of well put together. Now, this was supposed to go into early access, but it was delayed in March. No due date. I expect that we'll see some sort of gameplay for this, but I don't think it will be dated, and I don't think it's going to be releasing anytime soon. But I expect a gameplay reveal for this, with it being a console exclusive. Ereban Shadow Legacy. This is coming from Raw Fury, sci-fi stealth game. No update since September 2022. It is an Xbox console exclusive, and it is due 2023. I think we'll probably see something. I expect it to just be more of a remember this game trailer. I don't know how much we'll see of that, but I think something. Cocoon, Geometric Interactive's first game. This is from one of the guys who did Inside and... can't remember what the other one was called. Nope, it's gone. That's what happens when the lights come on. So this looks like it's on everything but PS5. So it's not exactly a console exclusive, but I think that if we're going to see anything of this year, it's either at Summer Game Fest, because it's sort of like an indie darling studio, or the people behind it are kind of indie darlings, and Inside was good. And it could be at the Summer Game Fest. If it isn't there, it's going to definitely be on the Xbox showcase. And with it being an Xbox console exclusive, it's coming to Switch, I think, as well. I can absolutely see this being here, because Nintendo don't really have a presence at these events anymore. So if it is going to get shown off, and it's not at Summer Game Fest, Cocoon will be here. The Kojima Partnership.
Now, I'm excited to announce a special partnership between Xbox Game Studios and one of the greatest creative minds and innovators in our industry. Someone that I have admired for many years. Today, I'm pleased to share we will be working together to create a brand new experience like we've never seen before.
Thank you, Phil. こんにちは、小島秀夫です。ずっと作りたかったゲームがあります。それは誰も体験したことも見たこともない全く新しいものです。それが作れる日が来るのをずっと待っておりました。マイクロソフトの最先端クラウドテクノロジーと市場の変化によってその未知なる構想への挑戦がようやく可能となりました。少し時間はかかるかもしれませんが、これから、Xbox ゲームスタジオと提携し、皆さんに喜んでいただけるニュースをお届けしていきたいと思います。ご期待ください。
Oh, this is another tough one. We have to see something. It's Kojima. He's a god in the gaming industry. The guy is an absolute legend. No idea what he's doing. No idea what we'll see. It's going to be wacky. The big question again is this going to be at Summer Game Fest? Because we know Kojima and Jeff Keighley get on really well. They have a great working relationship. With it being an Xbox exclusive project, I'd like to think that it would be first announced here in the showcase. It's only a year since the partnership was announced, so I don't know what would be there to show off. I'm 50-50 on this. If Kojima's going to be anywhere, or if this is going to be shown off anywhere, I want to say it's here. I think we have to see something, though. Because a Kojima game is the kind of thing that would boost the hype for this into another stratosphere. Fingers crossed. Starfield. There's no point in talking about this because it's coming out in September the 6th, and it has a dedicated showcase straight after the Xbox One that we'll be covering on the channel. So I am fairly safe in saying that this won't be at the showcase, because it's going to have an hour or so afterwards. I'm really excited what we're going to see, though. I'm terrified for Starfield. I'm terrified for the state that it's going to release in. I'm terrified that it's going to be a 30 frames per second game at launch. I'm terrified because nobody's answering these questions. Hopefully this showcase will give us everything. I'm really looking forward to it, but I'm really anxious about it. Forza Motorsport. Turn 10's Track Racer confirmed to be at the showcase, and I fully expect this to be a shadow drop, so either during the showcase or just after the Starfield stuff, it's going to launch later that day. I'm saying this is going to release June the 11th, probably after the Starfield showcase. And this is the big stealth drop for the Summer Fest situation. Don't put money on it, I'm probably wrong. That's just the feeling that I've got. I think the game is done and ready to go, and that's why they've been so quiet on this. Elder Scrolls Online, we're going to see something. Necrom is the next big expansion. It's coming in the summer. We'll see something as usual, but I don't think we will get anything about a new sort of the following expansion after Necrom. And this won't be launching. This will have it'll have a dedicated, either a developer direct or ZeniMax Studios will do their own stream to showcase more of this. But yeah, I mean, Elder Scrolls is always going to have a presence in the showcase. Xbox paid big money for it, so it's going to be there somewhere, isn't it? Sea of Thieves. Again, this is a dead cert for me. I don't know what it'll be. They've just had an in-game event end, so what we'll probably get is some sort of trailer for the next season. Really successful game. Lots of people seem to still be playing Sea of Thieves, I think. It's not for me, but there's a dedicated fan base, and it's such a unique game that I think this is going to get a lot of support. Rare again, and Rare make good stuff. And it's not that it's a bad game, it's just not my kind of game. But we'll definitely see something for Sea of Thieves. Now, here's a question. Elder Scrolls 6. I think we get Starfield out of the way first. I do not think that Elder Scrolls 6 is that far into development, and I do not think we will be getting anything about it at this showcase. I may be wrong. I don't see it. I think that the absolute focus is Starfield right now, and not just from Bethesda. Indiana Jones. No. Movie's just about to come out. Hype. I was going to say hype for Indiana Jones is pretty high. I don't think that it is. But as a game for Indiana Jones, I really want to see something. This is Machine Games' latest. They're the people behind Wolfenstein. Was announced January 2021. We might get some gameplay, but again, I think because this is like a Bethesda team, to use that sort of loosely, I feel that Machine Games are big enough to have their own space, and I feel that Indiana Jones is a big enough IP to have its own space. In all honesty, I don't think this will release before 2025. I think that the first real look will be next year's showcase, or it will have its own developer direct where they'll look at it in more finer detail when it's closer to release. So, might get mentioned. I highly doubt we'll get anything more than a passing glance, and we won't get gameplay. Gameplay will be shown off next year. I'm happy to say that from what I've read on the situation here. Halo Infinite. Just letting the tumbleweed pass. Season 4 is due to drop about a week after, for multiplayer, Season 4 is due to drop about a week after this showcase. So we will definitely see that. They've been quite quiet on Season 4 so far. I don't know how deep they'll go into it. Again, Halo 343 tend to do their own streams to show things off, which is good. I quite like it. Halo's, well, we'll talk about it in another video, in the predictions video. We'll definitely see multiplayer Season 4 teased, though, 100%. Okay, so now we're moving into more third-party games, but they've been announced broadly. And we'll see. First one I want to talk about, Project 007. This is the IOI Interactive Bond game. Announced a year ago. I still think we're quite a ways off seeing this. I don't think we'll see any gameplay. And I feel like IOI Interactive and Bond is a big enough license for it to be more focused on a Jeff Keighley best than dedicated to an Xbox One. And it is third party, it is supposed to be on everything, and why would it not be? It's going to shift, going to do really well. Won't see anything, still very early in development. Leave it there. Now these next two are, one's very close to my heart, but these next two are sort of tricky ones. Dragon Age Dreadwolf. Originally announced back in 2018 at the Game Awards, BioWare's rebooted this twice, I think, as far as we know from the rumours. Who the fuck knows what state this is in? And honestly, does anybody care anymore? I expect this will show up. Again, I don't know if it will be a Summer Game Fest. If it isn't at Summer Game Fest, I fully expect that there will be something at the Xbox Showcase. It's due another update. What I'd love is this to be, well, actually, I wouldn't love this to be, but we know that EA and Microsoft have a really good working relationship, so I can see some sort of deal being done where this is maybe a console exclusive. If Xbox are going to start to get ruthless, that would be an interesting one. And I think Dragon Age Origins, the first Dragon Age game, was an Xbox exclusive. Not 100% on that. I very well could be wrong, because I'm not really well versed in Dragon Age. Either way, it'll be nice to see what state it's in. It's not a world that I love, and it worries me because BioWare used to be good, and if this isn't good, it's going to cause problems for the next game on the list, Mass Effect 5. You all know I am a massive Mass Effect fan, I'm sure. We're currently playing through the Legendary Edition on the games channel. I love this series. I absolutely adore the first three games. Well, most of three, but I adore 1 and 2 and most of 3. This was announced a few years ago, but I fully expect that this will be mostly radio silent until Dreadwolf is launched. I think Dreadwolf is the big push. They need to make sure that they get that done. It's 7 years in development. No, it's 5 years in development at this point. Probably more, probably 7 actually. Whereas Mass Effect 5 is a relatively recent announcement for BioWare. I would expect the next update to be on N7 Day 2023. I don't expect gameplay. But again, I think that Mass Effect is one of those games, and I really hope that Microsoft actually, or Xbox, do this. The first Mass Effect was a console exclusive on the 360. If they want big games, if they want things that will shift consoles, as well as their first party stuff, they need to do deals like Sony are doing for third party stuff. Look at Final Fantasy 16, things like that. Stray, we'll come on to that later, and I'm not saying that Stray is a console shifter, but it's the kind of thing where you need to look at and say, is there anything else like this? No, we need it on our, even if it's just a year, we need it on our console for an element of exclusivity. I hate games like that. I hate console exclusivity. I hate timed exclusivity things. I hate exclusive content that goes to one console and not another. I hate everything about that, but that is baked into the business model of the gaming industry. We cannot get away from it. We have to accept it. So do Xbox. Mass Effect 5 needs to be an Xbox exclusive and pay them the money for a year if Microsoft and Xbox want to take this generation seriously. But we're not getting anything here. N7 Day, so November 7, 2023 is the next that we'll hear from this. I think this is still a ways off. EA Sports stuff. Yeah, there's always something. Who cares at this point? Replaced. So this is Sad Cat Studios' 2.5D platformer. It was announced in 2021. I believe it was meant to release in 2022, but obviously we've had issues. It's now due for 2023. It's an Xbox console exclusive. It's not dated on the store. It's not dated on Steam. But I fully expect to see something. It looks really cool. It's like a Blade Runner kind of cyberpunk-y platformer. It looks quite good. I believe this was announced for Game Pass as well. But yes, I think that we will see something from Sad Cat for this one. Assassin's Creed Mirage. Shown at the Sony showcase. I get there eventually. I fully expect that this will next show up at the Ubisoft Forward, or whatever they call them these days. Their show is later in the month, so no, don't expect anything for Assassin's Creed Mirage. But the reason I bring it up is that there is a plethora of Assassin's Creed games in development. We have Codename Red, Codename Hex, Codename Jade. They're all announced last year. We still don't know what Infinity is either, but it sounds more like that's a collection of games rather than an actual game itself. I do not think that we will see Mirage. I hope that we will see one of the other ones. Probably Red, I think, was the next one that was due out. I mean, it sounds more like it's going to be a Ubisoft announcements at their own show. But they do have a pretty good working relationship with Xbox, and I would expect Ubisoft to want to build hype for their show, so it might be a quick trailer of, here's Codename Red, see more in a couple of weeks. So I think that, again, I could be wrong, and especially with Mirage being on the PlayStation Showcase, I think we will get something Assassin's Creed at the Xbox Showcase. Alan Wake 2, similar idea to Mirage, really. So this was shown off at the PlayStation Showcase as well. We won't see this at the Xbox One, but would we get something else? Now, Sam Lake, the head of Remedy, who is behind Alan Wake, and Max Payne, a series I adore, he's already to be confirmed appearing at the Summer Games Fest. So we probably won't see anything at the Xbox One, but Xbox and Remedy have a very good working relationship. They've done games in the past. Max Payne 1 and 2 Remake is in development. It would be amazing to see it here. Again, I always thought that the Max Payne stuff would be more of a PlayStation announcement. But then I would have said Alan Wake would be an Xbox announcement. So I don't think it's going to happen. But I'm really hoping that we see some Max Payne 1 and 2 Remake at the Xbox Showcase. Or maybe something else, Remedy. They're working on a lot of stuff. I think that we'll see something Remedy somewhere. It's probably just at Summer Games Fest, but I'd love to see something at the Xbox Showcase. And the idea of a Max Payne remake for the first two games just gets me all warm inside. Max Payne 2 is such an underrated game, and it was fairly well hyped up when it came out, and fairly well received. Oh, just playing it in modern graphics, with the bullet time and how calm down. Calm down. Next third-party game, Space Marine 2. Saber Interactive are putting this together. It's shown off at the Warhammer Skulls event, as we previously mentioned about Darktide. It's meant to be releasing for 2023. I genuinely think this will get pushed to 2024. But Focus have a very good relationship with Xbox, and we didn't see a lot at the Skulls showcase. And if this is coming out in 2023, this is a very big game. There is a lot of hype in the Warhammer community about Space Marine 2. Space Marine 1, while I didn't love it, is a very beloved game and probably one of a handful of Warhammer games that's been widely accepted as good. If this is coming out this year, I think we see it here. And with Focus's working relationship with Xbox, absolutely. I think that we'll see this at the Xbox showcase. 95% certain. Another one, I think this has been confirmed to be showing. Stray. Stray came out on the PlayStation 5 and Steam. I think it's on Epic as well. Middle of last year, so it's about a year ago. It has been rated for Xbox recently. So this is the B12 Studios cat platformer. The perfect game for Game Pass. I mentioned that when the news broke about it being rated on Xbox. It's a perfect sort of 8 to 10 hour little adventure. You can put as much time in it as you want. it screams Game Pass. If this is a thing, it will be confirmed at the showcase. Now, Xbox Twitter, Friday, so yesterday I think it was, they put out a thread of cats in games. I think that's confirmed straight. I've played it. I've loved it. It's everything that you want a cat platformer in a cyberpunk world to be. It's brilliant. It's just brilliant. I'd love to see this on Game Pass, and I think it would give it a fresh bit of life a year after it's come out. I'd be very surprised if with this being rated. Be very surprised if there wasn't a minute or two's trailer of Stray coming to Game Pass. Looking forward to that. And I'd play it again, to be honest. I loved that game so much. It was probably... was it my game of the year last year? It was certainly in the conversation. Aliens Dark Descent. This is the new Aliens game. Again, it's a Focus Entertainment developed one. It's due for release on June the 20th. So... I'm torn on this. We've already had a deep dive recently on the Focus Entertainment YouTube channel. I think this is a 50-50. It will probably be mentioned because it's a massive franchise, but I don't expect a huge amount of time dedicated to it because it releases 9 days after the showcase. But I think we'll see it. Another one that made me laugh when we had the trailer, I think it was the Game Awards. Crime Boss, Rockay City. So this is In-Game Studios' Hollywood A-lister crime game. Console launch is due sometime. Again, it's third party, so it's Xbox and PlayStation. Wasn't at the PlayStation showcase. I think this is maybe a 50-50, but it didn't review well on PC at launch, so maybe the console one is being pushed back. If it's coming out this year for consoles, I think we'll see it here. And it looked amusing. That's the best I've got for it. Immortals of Aveum. We've seen this recently at the Sony showcase. So, yeah, it's Ascendant Studios, and it's an EA Originals Destiny-style shooter. It comes out July the 20th. I mean, it depends what else EA shows here with Xbox. There might be something with it being at the Sony showcase. I fully expect this is a no. But it is coming to Xbox, so if you're interested in it, you can play it wherever you want. Now, this one is a big one, certainly for fans of Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty. CDPR recently confirmed marketing kicking off in June. So I fully expect this will be shown and dated somewhere. I think they're also at Summer Game Fest with their relationship with Xbox. I actually think we will get something dedicated to Cyberpunk on the Xbox showcase. Maybe with Idris on stage. Maybe Keanu comes back. Maybe both. I think we see something regardless of Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty. Suicide Squad kills the Justice League.
You're mine now, and you're in for a world of... Oh, shit!
Not a chance. No way. We're not seeing this for a long time. And then the last game I've got to talk about is Star Wars Eclipse. So the Quantic Dream Star Wars game, originally announced in 2021, no release date. Sounds like it's many years off. So no chance. But the reason that this is in here, I don't know what is pending for Star Wars games. I think we might get something teased from someone. It won't be an Xbox exclusive, although I would have thought that with Indiana Jones and their Machine Games is probably going to be an Xbox console exclusive. Interesting. Never thought of that bit. I expect, because Star Wars is in such a rough place, but we've just had the end of Mandalorian Season 3. Ahsoka is about to come out August time, I think. They're going to want to build up hype, and honestly, Jedi Survivor came out April. Alright, it had some rough performance issues on PCs. But as far as I'm aware, that is the last Star Wars game that has been announced that we know is coming. I just feel that we're going to get something Star Wars. I'm not saying it's going to be gameplay. I'm not saying it's going to be coming soon. I just think that Star Wars is such a big franchise, and the games are just... A Star Wars game would sell, regardless. Doesn't matter what it is. We know that KOTOR remake, which I think was a PlayStation console exclusive, but that seems to be DOA at the minute. There's got to be something else. There has to be something else. I don't know if it will be at the Xbox Showcase or at the Summer Games Fest. It could even be at the Ubisoft Forward, because Ubisoft are working on an open world game, which kind of puts me off the idea a bit. But I think we will see something Star Wars somewhere, and I'm putting this out in this video because I just hope. What I'd love to see and what I'm desperate to see is the Amy Hennig game that's in development with Skydance Games. Alright, Skydance, don't like Skydance. But Amy Hennig? Yes, please. So, it's a lot of games. And I think it's safe to say that a lot of these would have been released by now if we hadn't have had a pandemic. And the whole stop development and start learning to work from home thing. But it's also fair to call out Xbox marketing and say things were announced far too soon, and the whole overcorrection with only talking about things dropping in the next 6 months hasn't worked either. We don't have anything to get super excited about for the future, because we don't know what state they're in or when they're coming out. But we also don't have anything to get excited about until they show us something, and over the next 6 months, stuff they've shown off hasn't really appeared on time recently. That is a hangover from the pandemic, I completely accept that, but their whole strategy hasn't worked. Really what I think they need to do is find that sweet middle ground where they can say, look, things are settling down now, our studios are hard at work. What I'd love to see is, let's tease something that's just hitting development. 2 or 3 games that are a couple of years away, but this is what we've got, this is what's coming. And then focus on actual gameplay, the things that will be coming out in the next 12 months. This would leave us, in my opinion, with a pretty good setup for every 3 to 6 monthly developer direct shows to fill in the gaps and give us more information on the bigger games, like the Indiana Jones game, like they're doing with Starfield. I actually think Starfield, marketing-wise, has been handled quite well, because we know it's coming. It was last year, no, it was 2021 it was announced, and then there was a bit of quiet period, and then it slowly built again, and things have been teased. Got a little bit more at last year's showcase, and then in January it was Starfield is getting its own developer direct. And I'm really excited for that. That's my hope. I kind of want the big annual showcases like the E3 style, but I want every 3 months, because I'm greedy. But every 3 to 6 months we get a developer direct. I think that's this sweet spot where you give us the long term plan, and then you give us the short term releases as well, hopefully. Now, there was a couple of things missing from this, because we were looking at just what's been announced over the last 5 years. So, as mentioned, I'll do a hopes and predictions video, which will talk more about Fable. It will also talk more about Halo and Gears of War, and things that I would love to see, but that's where I'm going to call this one. It's been longer than I thought it was going to be. Yeah, look, the Xbox have fumbled the ball in many situations, be it marketing, be it game development, be it releases. There's a lot of bad taste left after Redfall, which was supposed to be this epic arcane style game, and it was, the stories coming out about Redfall No, it does not paint Xbox Game Studios and the hierarchy and their management of projects in a very good light at all. Hopefully, Starfield is going to be the first game that really starts to get the ball moving, that delivers on a bar of quality that has been missing over the last 6 months' releases. I am worried. But I hope that what we see for this showcase is good, and I'll go more into that in the next video. But I just hope that we get updates on these games at some point. Certainly the first party stuff, because a lot of them have been lingering in development for a very long time. But anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please hit all the buttons, you know what to do. We talk about Xbox and gaming quite a bit around here, so if you're into that, feel free to subscribe as well. Take a look around the channel. It really helps the channel to grow. There's also TOD Plays Games, which will be linked in the description. That's where I do quite a few game streams. We do a couple a week. And all of my gameplay content goes up there. So if you fancy checking that out, feel free. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.